Hi, Captain Steve for BoatTEST.com, and today we're going to bring you the North American debut of the windy SR44 SX. Beautiful day boat, weekender, and she could also be a yacht tender, but most importantly, what we're going to see today is the yacht quality on this boat. Come on aboard as I do a full features inspection and performance evaluation. Now, there are 5 boarding points to the 44. First of all, the swim platform that we just came aboard on, the extendable passerelle at the stern on the port hand side, at midships, there are stairs to both port and starboard, and they light when the steps are deployed. And we can also board from the bow. So we have outboard power. There's still 2 feet of platform behind the transom, and then 3 feet 2 inches to both sides of that platform. There's a concealed swim ladder over to the port side. The seat back is adjustable. It's on track, so it can move fully back or forward even more. The position that it's in right now gives it a comfortable seat back to give wraparound seating, which we'll get into in just a moment. With the seat all the way back, we've got a sun pad that can be used while we're underway. We can also use it as just an aft-facing seat, watching kids that play in the water. Fully forward is 4 feet 8 inches of sun space. You can see it latches into any one of these positions. I count 33. And of course, we could bring out a sunshade to add a little more relaxation to the day if the sun gets to be too much. Now we come up an 11-inch step to enter the cockpit area. There's a gate that blocks off the area and 20 inches to the walkthrough. And that brings us into the interior with U-shaped seating when we have, of course, the seat back moved fully forward. There's a table in the center with expandable leaves, and in the closed position there are beverage holders. There's a grab rail going all the way around, and it's treated in leather. It's also on fixed pedestals. You can get that on high-low, so we can make this into a sun pad as well. Moving ahead, there's a nice padded bolster that serves as a bit of a leaning post for the galley up just ahead. We've got a sink and a grill area. We can obviously have room for a second grilling station. Solid surface counter. There's a grab rail just behind, and then underneath there's storage drawers, ice maker, to port. There's storage, trash receptacle, and then refrigeration. So this is under the protection of the hardtop. We have speakers, fusion speakers facing aft. There are skylights in it and LED lights. Really nice job they did on this. Now, because we have these convenient stairs here, there's a grab handle just above. Nice spot for it. But I would like to see another handle right here. Now, I said at the beginning of this video there were a lot of yacht quality features on this boat. Aside from the stainless steel rails going all the way around, we normally see Amtico or something along those lines on the deck. This is real teak. As we make our way forward, pull-up cleat 9.5 inches. There's a 9-inch step as we make our way up to the side decks, which measure 16 inches between the side of the cabin and the rail. Bulwarks come up 25 inches. On top of the trunk cabin, there's a sun pad that has a width in the middle of 5 feet 4 inches and measures a full length of 7 feet 4 inches. There's a pillow at the top of it. I'd like to see it come up into a chaise lounge position, but it's in a fixed position. Drink holders are in both upper corners. There's a pad in the middle that opens to expose a hatch to the lower deck. Because we're set up for bow inboarding, we've got a concealed anchor all the way up forward. Let's open up this hatch. Firstly, there's a remote for deploying the anchor arm. Then we have another remote for deploying the anchor itself. There's a Lumar windlass right down below. Now, I said this boat's also a weekender, so it's got a functional cabin. It's accessed from the port side of the helm. Let's take a look. The cabin area is open and roomy. We have overhead height of 6 feet 6 inches. Decking is synthetic S-Tech. There's a master stateroom fully forward with a comfortable berth. That can be closed off with a privacy shade that pulls down from overhead. There's natural light coming in from hull side windows. There's also an overhead hatch that gives us natural light. All the way aft, there's a mid-cabin with 2 single berths. There's 1 feet 2 inches between the 2 berths. Just to the port hand side, there's a modest galley with a sink, solid surface counter. There's storage just behind. And there's storage inside for the cutting board and the cover for the sink. Notice the clever latch at the door. Refrigerated drawer. To starboard, there's a head. This features a solid surface counter, opening port light, electric flush toilet, and a separate walk-in shower. Now let's take a look at operations, and that starts with the ship's power panel right next to the entryway to the cabin. There's huge storage underneath the sun pad. Call this a mechanical room. We have the 7 kW diesel generator. If we had a seakeeper, that would be installed in this position as well. Plus we've got all the electrical systems in here. Battery charger up in front. We also have the fuel tank. Battery for the generator, the house batteries, engine start battery, crossover system right behind, fire protection system, and everything is really nicely labeled. Now directly over this port side ramp, there's a hatch that gives you another access point, and directly under that hatch, there's a breaker panel.
Now inside this panel, there's a washdown connection. The switch for activating the pump is just ahead. Just above are individual trim switches for the engines, and then controls for the passerelle, which we showed earlier.
And then we finish off by looking at the helm, highlighted by 2 large displays. If we go slightly smaller, we obviously have room for 3. Soft touch. It's a glass dash, so there are no gauges, and of course we have a dedicated page just for controls of the Windy itself, and then a separate control panel for the engine displays. Rails just below, so we can have a place for putting stuff. Humphrey interceptor controls, bow thruster control, and then the joystick. Now the windshield is a single piece, goes 3/4, maybe halfway up. There's an option for having it go all the way up, or there's an option for having Stratoglass go to the top. The 3 helm seats are upholstered in fixed positions, and each armrest includes beverage holders, and there are also beverage holders to both sides of the helm.
The engines on our test boat are the twin Mercury 600 horsepower. We can get triple 400s, 450s, or triple Yamaha V8s. Let's take a look at the test numbers and see how these engines performed. The Windy SR44 SX has a length overall of 47 feet 5 inches and a beam of 12 feet 11 inches. With an empty weight of 22,266 pounds, full fuel, and 6 people on board, we had an estimated test weight of 25,962 pounds. With twin 600 horsepower V12 Mercuries turning 27.5 prop sets and wound up to 5,900 RPM, our speed topped out at 46.3 knots. Best economic cruise came in at 4,000 RPM and 28.1 knots. It was at that speed that the 46.8 gallon per hour fuel burn translated into 0.6 nautical miles per gallon and a range of 228.5 nautical miles, all while still holding back a 10% reserve of the boat's 423 gallon total fuel capacity. We reached planing speed in an average 8.7 seconds and she'll hold plane on down to 16.5 knots. In acceleration tests, she reached 20 miles per hour in an average 5.9 seconds, 30 in 10.2, and 40 came and went in 14.7 seconds.
There's a minimal bow rise upon acceleration, again thanks to the Humphrey interceptors being dialed in so well in this boat. She's almost flat as you accelerate. It's a really nice feeling, and you don't lose any visibility to the horizon upon accelerating. Other than that, she has a solid ride, solid feel, and she just scoots right along. You don't really have to do much to it at all. It's that intuitive and does it all itself, and it feels really solid. This is a heavy boat, and she has a solid feel to her and a very comfortable ride.
Overall, there's a lot to be impressed with on the Windy SR44 SX. Her fit and finish are exemplary, with just a few items to change out for the North American market. Comfort is clearly on the forefront, as are handling and performance. And that's my full features inspection and performance evaluation. As for Windy in general, well, we're just getting warmed up. For BoatTEST.com, I'm Captain Steve. We'll see you on the water.